All set to kick off Season 4 in the World Poker Tour. I'm Mike Sexton.
And I'm Vince Van Patten, and the WPT is back for its 4th season to put the audience right in the middle of every million-dollar decision like never before. You know what we have this year? We have more cameras so that the people out there can witness a few more ridiculous suckouts and brilliant bluffs. So that's going to be fun.
Well, we started 4 days ago with 317 players, each of whom put up $10,000 to enter to create a prize pool of over $3 million. We're down to our final 6, one of whom is going to walk off with $1.1 million. And the one thing that every poker player dreams about, Vince, a WPT title.
Well, this is an interesting final 6, too. I tell you, we have a couple pros and we have a few amateurs. Let's go over the pros. Ted Forrest and Keto Pham. You've seen them before on the World Poker Tour. Great players. Maybe not the flashy names that you've heard of, but I guarantee you after tonight, if they win this, they will be bona fide poker superstars.
Well, we have 2 other pros making their WPT final table debut tonight. That's Chris Bell from Raleigh, North Carolina, and Gavin Smith from Las Vegas. And Vince, the other 2 players at this table, Mark Ellerby from Richmond, Texas, and Eugene Todd from Brooklyn, New York, actually have jobs. They are amateur players who are battling their way to this final table with a shot at capturing a WPT title tonight.
You know what? It is poker dream time tonight here at the Mirage. The winner's going to take home $1.1 million. The cards are ready to fly. Let's go down to the felt.
You know, Vince, what's going to be fun about tonight is the 4 pros at the table. The guys sitting in seats 1, 4, 5, and 6. Very aggressive. They're all bold. They make moves at the pots. It'll be interesting to see how the guys in seats 2 and 3, these 2 amateurs, fare against them. Well, Keto Pham, our chip leader.
Keto throws down 10-7. Now it's around to the big-time gambling man, Ted Forrest, throwing away 6 deuce.
Now around to Mark Ellerby out of Richmond, Texas. He looks down at Queen 3 of hearts. He's capping his cards. Generally an indication you want to play a pot.
Don't do anything crazy, Mark.
Well, he is short-stacked. He sees a couple guys folding right in front of him. He's thinking to himself,
all right,
can I take advantage of this right now? No, decides not to.
You know, he opts to fold. Probably a wise choice because right behind him, Eugene Todd has picked up a pair of 8s on the button.
Oh, Mr. Brooklyn with the mid pair and the button in front.
More chips, less brains. Gotta pick my spots.
He epitomizes New York, this guy. Look at him. I mean, it's like he's ready for the rumble.
And he makes it 30,000.
On Chris Bell, a professional out of North Carolina, looks down at a nice hand, ace-queen, offsuit.
Well, Vince, when you're sitting in the blinds and the guy on the button raises it, you always think he's stealing your money. Why is that?
I guess most of the time he is.
Well, Chris has a nice hand here. Let's see how he's going to play this ace-queen. He's going to test him and see if he's got a hand or not. He's coming over the top of him.
Oh, he is. He's going up.
105,000.
Gavin Smith looking down at a miserable 6-5 offsuit, throws it away, and now it's back to the New Yorker.
Wants to, just can't.
Vince, here's where you have a problem in No Limit Hold'em. When you have mid pairs and your opponent has come over the top of you after you've raised it, what do you do now?
Got a predicament.
Right now you could make a case that he could call this bet to see a flop. He could throw his cards away, or he could come over the top.
What's it to me?
You got the mid pair. You're acting last throughout the hand.
What will our man from Brooklyn do? Well, it cost him $75,000 to call, Vince, but he's getting out more chips than that. The amateur from New York who got in here on a satellite, is he going to come over the top here with the 2 8s? Yes, he is.
Oh, boy, he's saying, I'm walking here.
Wow.
I'm from New York.
That is some play he's made right here. He's come over the top, made it $220,000 to go.
Oh, look at that scowl. You gotta love that face.
Well, now he's put the burden back on Chris Bell as to what to do. Now, Chris has the ace-queen. When you've raised and been re-raised again, you're always afraid your opponent might have ace-king. He might have a pair of kings or queens. You can be beat, but Chris is going to opt to make the call, wants to see a flop.
So a nice pot developing between these 2.
And the flop comes king, queen, 10. So Chris Bell in the lead with the ace-queen.
So he's got the queens with an ace kicker.
But still, even though it looks like a nice hand, remember the guy raised on the button. You re-raised him. He came back over the top of you.
It's scary. Guy could have ace king. He could have a set. He could have a lot of different things. Chris is going to check this.
Yeah, he's going to proceed a little cautious here.
Now the New Yorker with just the pair of 8s has got a little problem.
Vince has got a big problem. There's 3 overcards out there on the board.
Nobody's getting out chips. What is this?
Well, Vince, I would be astounded if he bets here. There's 3 overcards on the board to his pair of 8s.
Very risky bet.
This guy is not intimidated whatsoever here.
Oh, he's from New York.
It's been raised, re-raised, and called here, and he's still betting $250,000 into this flop. Wow.
Gotta love this man's spirit. What a bet into Chris, who has second pair of queens with a big ace kicker.
I'll tell you, folks, if you're sitting in Chris Bell's seat right now, we can see that he's a dominating favorite here. But believe me, you don't feel that way when you're sitting there. You raised the guy before the flop. He came back over the top of you. Now you check, and he leads out in bets on this flop. You're afraid he's got ace-king. He could have 2 aces, 2 kings, 2 queens. Could have flopped a set of 10s. You just don't know where you're at right now.
250. Chris trying to get a read, realizing he probably can't get this man out of the pot. He's pot committed.
Chris is opting to wait. He lays it down.
Oh, and the New Yorker puts the brass knuckles to him.
Let me tell you, Eugene should be clapping for himself, Vince. What a bold play.
Oh, go show it. No, he's not going to show it, though. He slams down the cards.
To make a play like that early at a final table of the World Poker Tour event, the guy got in here on a satellite. That takes a lot of moxie to make a move like that.
What is it going to take for me to win this? I'm not really looking to put a game plan together. I'm not really that type that needs a game plan. I flip out quick, you know? But I'm going to try to keep myself poised today.
Cause we're from New York,
Season 4 underway. They are gambling big time. We're coming back with more on the World Poker.
It's a pretty bad feeling. It's just good that now I'm here and I can let that demon go.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour, the Mirage Poker Showdown. I'm Vince Van Patten with Mike Sexton.
And Vince, this is the kickoff event of Season 4 on the World Poker Tour. And the amateur player from New York, Eugene Todd, just ran that kickoff back for a touchdown, bluffed his way into that pot.
Action quickly around to Ted Forrest. He goes out. Mark Ellerby with 9 deuce. He goes out as well.
The WPT hole cam brought to you by Budweiser shows us that Eugene Todd has picked up 2 10s on the button. Last time he had 2 8s on the button and played them superbly. Let's see how he plays these 2 10s.
Cracking that neck.
He's going to be cracking some chips off that stack, that's for sure.
Intense kind of player, huh?
He is going to raise it. I don't blame him at all. Comes in for $44,000.
But right next to him, Chris Bell with a king, queen of clubs.
Remember last time, Chris came over the top of him and got re-raised by Eugene, ended up giving up the best hand. When the smoke cleared, let's see how he plays the king, queen of clubs here. This time he's just going to call the raise.
Learned by a little history there, perhaps. And now Gavin Smith with 7-5 throws it down.
Once again, Chris Bell and Eugene Todd going at it here. Chris with the king, queen of clubs. Eugene with the 2 10s. Here comes a flop. The flop is ace 9-5.
Did not help Chris. Didn't hit any piece of that, and it's on him first. Now he's thinking, this guy next to me pull off an ace or what?
Chris very deliberate, taking his time here. He checks.
Gives the green light here to Eugene.
Eugene scratching his beard and now reaching for chips.
Well, he figures if this guy had an ace, he wouldn't check it perhaps, and he's going to bet it.
Well, he does bet it. He bets $80,000. Notice how Chris is staring at that bet. He knows there's $112,000 in the pot. The guy bet $80,000. Without much hesitation, Chris is going to come over the top of him.
Oh, boy.
He's going to represent the ace, as we say.
Well, he makes a $100,000 raise with just king, queen.
He has king high is all he has. Eugene has the best hand with 2 10s, but when you're check raised, you just automatically assume your opponent has an ace in this spot.
It's just going to put your head in a vice right now.
It's another $100,000 for Eugene to call this bet. And Then if you call it here, if your opponent bets on the turn, what do you do then with 2 10s?
Up here.
Gonna try to read his man.
Trying to study him.
Did not want to get raised here.
Well, look at Michelle there. She's got her hands clasped.
Oh, it gets him to lay it down.
Well, Chris Bell showing him, look, you took that last pot away from me. I didn't know if you had the best hand or not, but you're not the only one who can play a little poker here, my friend.
The Wonder Cam coming up a 10 on the turn.
They going home then.
And a 9 on the
man.
river. Oh, man.
Eugene Todd would have made 10s full of 9s, but how much more he would have earned, I don't know. Had he called that raise, Chris might have backed off and not put any more money in the pot, but who knows? He may have fired again out of Vince.
Chris Bell, the former realtor, gets his commission right there.
I was always competitive in high school, and this is just another way to be competitive. Kind of like a sport. I mean, you're trying to get the other person's chips, and that's your goal.
He's playing good and getting unlucky.
I just love to play. I'm looking to win it.
You know, the dream of every poker player, Vince, professional or amateur, is to capture a World Poker Tour title. There you see WPT champion Michael Gratz in the crowd, rooting his buddy Chris Bell on here.
Action on Mr. Brooklyn, Eugene Todd. Fumbling around there.
Struggling to see his cards here.
He's got ace-9 of hearts. He goes out.
Maybe he didn't see him.
All right, Chris Bell looking at 10-8 of spades. No, he goes away too.
Gavin lays his hand down.
And now it is on the corn dog. They call him Keto Fam. He's got a wired pair of 5s this time.
And he's going to raise it on the button with 2 5s, makes it 40,000 to go.
Ted Forrest looking down at Queen Deuce. He goes out. And now it's on Mark Ellerby in the big blind. This time he's got Jack 10. Nothing special.
He's got 12,000 out there, cost him 28,000 more to call.
Owner of the collection agency, an amateur player. He's going to make the call. He's going to speculate.
This is a gamble in my view because he's on the short stack. So here we go. It's Jack 10 for Mark, 2 5s for Keto.
Here's the flop. Oh, man. 9-5-3. Keto's hit 3 of a kind.
Well, a dream flop for him.
Come on, man.
Oh, and Mark Ellerby's gone all in,
Did you say
Vance.
all in? Yeah. I call.
Awful time to try the bluff. He gets snagged right there.
He tried to make a move at the pot. Little did he know he ran into 3 of a kind.
What are you going to do?
Keto clapping. He knows he's got his opponent hemmed up about as well as you can right now. Unless Mark Ellerby catches 2 runners to make a straight or 2 clubs to make a flush, he will be heading back to Texas.
Here's the turn. It's a 3 of hearts.
Well, that's going to do it.
Yeah.
Mark is drawing dead now, as we say. Keto's made a full house. Come over to congratulate him. Doesn't matter what the river card is. Keto Fam taking down this pot, and we are going to be down to 5 players.
Mark Ellerby from Richmond, Texas, picks up $106,000 for his effort, and he didn't even have to make any threats to get it. Right now, we are down to 5 players. One of these guys is going to go home a millionaire. Stay tuned. We're coming back with more on the World Poker Tour.
Tucked away. This one's front and center in the casino and consequently gets a lot of new, young, crazy players. Everybody thinks that now to be a poker player, you have to be aggressive. So they make the games very interesting, to say the least.
Welcome back to the Mirage Poker Showdown. I'm Vince Van Patten alongside Mike Sexton, and we are down to 5 players.
The current chip leader is Keto Fam. He started out with a chip lead at this final table. He still got it with a little over $2 million in chips.
Great characters at this table going after a $1.1 million first prize. Action's going to be on Gavin Smith. Throws away 5-3. And the chip leader, Keto Fam,
Thanks.
going to go up with King 7 offsuit. Raises to 40,000.
Okay. We said he's a gambling style player. You see it right there.
Ted out. And now Mr. Brooklyn. Eugene Todd with a big hand, King, Queen of Hearts.
Actually has a dominating hand over his opponent, as we say here.
40, right?
He doesn't know it, so he's just going to call right here.
Yes, he does. Now Chris Bell with ace 10 in the big blind.
Well, Chris knows if one of his opponents had an ace with a bigger kicker, and an ace comes out there, this could be a trap